The fiduciary duty issue, I've heard some others mention this, but so can you walk through, okay, if they're going to, maybe what would be different maybe in some of these contracts that we see now than under, if they were operating under a fiduciary relationship?
Right. Well, you know, there was some talk about, for example, the property ownership, the desks, computers, the school books. Now, the Supreme Court never got to the question of unconscionability. An unconscionable contract is one that won't be enforced because its terms are so grossly unfair to be against public policy. The court, Lanzinger's opinion, mentions that briefly, but never gets to it. She says that wasn't argued before us below. It didn't come up on appeal, so we're not talking about it. But the elephant in the room was this syllabus pronouncement that there is a fiduciary duty. Well, if there's a fiduciary duty, you can't drive that hard bargain. And so after this decision, I think any contract that's written that would say you have to give all your money to us and then we own the computers and the furniture is going to be suspect because of the court's holding that there is a fiduciary duty.
Does that mean that whenever you do your duties now, you're going to be able to look at these contracts and be more likely to point out and say, this can't stand?
That's a great question. My office is reviewing what we can and should do. We do not sit as a court, so I'm not going to determine that a contract is void for public policy or something like that. On the other hand, we do have power under the standards to look at abuse, and abuse is spending or acts that would be contrary to I'm trying to remember the exact language here, I'm sorry. It's what would an ordinary, reasonable, prudent person do? So now that the Supreme Court has told us that there's this duty, you know, there are all kinds of questions about whether a violation of that duty might qualify for abuse under the auditing standards. I'm not saying it would. I'm just saying this is an interesting opinion and an interesting precedent.
Can you give us examples of any violations?
No, because it's brand new. This is literally a change in the shape of the game board and the playing field. And
Not violations that you've seen, but violations you might be looking for. What might be suspect? You said you have questions now, so what are possible violations?
well, again, a violation of a fiduciary duty is something that would be determined by a court. It may have an implication for something my office would determine, but I'm not going to determine if one party violated the fiduciary duty of another, just because it's not my office's role at this point. Now, if the legislature tells me I'm supposed to, then we'll do that, but I don't think they're going to.
But if you suspected such, you make a referral to the prosecutor's office or something like that. If you suspected a violation of fiduciary duty, you can make a criminal referral like you.
Yeah, and a violation of a fiduciary duty, unless it has a specific criminal statute involved, just the violation of a fiduciary duty is a civil matter. It would have no criminal aspects unless in the violation of that duty you committed a crime as well. So for example, it would be a violation of a fiduciary duty if you were to steal $1,000. So that would be also a theft.
Would it be mostly the boards or the sponsors who would be raising fiduciary duty issues?
The boards would be the most likely party to raise it. The Supreme Court indicates that the fiduciary duty flows from the operator to the school.
Can that also include, we think the operator is taking too much profit and not spending enough on the school? Can that be an example of a fiduciary duty violation?
That's an interesting question. I'd have to research the law on that. I don't know if anybody's ever thought of excess profits as being, I'm not even sure what an excess profit is, but I don't know if there's, a court has ever held that that could be a violation of fiduciary duty.
But I guess bottom line, does this make a board's standing stronger as it
Yes.
negotiates a contract and as it
Yeah, I
deals
think
with
so.
the operator in enforcing it?
Yeah, I think it does strengthen the school's position.
Am I correct? I'm going to try and paraphrase, I think what your position is right now on whether there should be a separate investigation on charter schools at this point. You've decided that you're going to do or include this issue in your regular performance audits of the schools? Is that
Regular
accurate?
financial audit.
Is there anything as a result of this court decision that you think you can do today that you couldn't do before that court ruling as part of it?
With regards to the ODE, ongoing ODE audit, no, I don't think it changes the work we're doing there.